Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our lecture. If you read about it in the park record, the title was slightly different, but you are at the right lecture. We're going to be talking about the Flinders Family Ranch. Some housekeeping items are in order before we actually begin tonight. First of all, thank you all for being here, especially on this stormy evening. My name is David Nicholas. I am a board member of the Park City Museum. And as of January, I am president of the Park City Historical Society. And thank you. Anyway, it's big shoes to fill from those who have preceded me. But there are actually 4 organizations that fall under the Park City Historical Society. We have the museum. We have the building that you're in, the Education and Collection Center. Also, we have the historic Glenwood-Cemetery. And then our 4th group, which is a mouthful for me to say, Sally, it just doesn't. Right, there we go. Sally Elliott founded that organization 10 years ago. And like the museum, Friends of Ski Mountain Mining history is dedicated to preserving, restoring, and protecting those remaining surface structures from when Park City was a mining town. All of our organizations are nonprofit. Nothing is free, though this lecture is, it's not really. So we rely on our memberships and donations to fund our activities. So for those of you who are members and or have contributed to our organization, we thank you. For those of you who have not yet become members or not yet made a donation, we hope that you will do so. So please consider it. If you go to our website, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a couple buttons you can click on regarding membership and or making a donation. Last year, Park City, the Park City Museum became an affiliate of the Smithsonian Institution. This is a very prestigious award for us. We are the only organization in the state of Utah to have that status so far. And we are one of 216 throughout the country that are part of the Smithsonian affiliation program. So a round of applause to Morgan Pierce and everybody else at the museum who made that happen. So it's a great honor for us. Some thank yous are in order as well. Diane Kinspell, thank you very much for allowing us to have this lecture tonight. My oldest daughter is here because my normal partner is not here, and I will address his whereabouts momentarily. But Lindsay Nicholas, thank you very much. I love you, but she's here to make sure nothing goes off the rails, including her father. So thank you. And of course, I want to thank the Flinders family for being here. We have a large contingent of Flinders family members and friends. And from myself and Stu Stanek, it's been an honor and privilege to work with you, to learn about your family, to learn about the ranch. And I will do my best to talk about it tonight. I just want everybody to know that my discussion is going to be like just scratching the top of a very deep and broad topic. We have enough material for multiple lectures, but we have 50 minutes tonight to talk about the family and the ranch. There will be a Q&A session, and since there are family members here, and I'm not a family member, you'll get the right answers, okay? So anyway, Flinders family, thank you very much, and thank you for being here. Also, some other housekeeping items. The lecture by Larry Warren on March 11th has been rescheduled till next year. For those of you who know Larry Warren, he was involved in a very serious ski accident last week, suffered a broken ankle, a broken leg, and a broken shoulder. Yeah, he's messed up. And he was hit by an out-of-control skier and is going to be out of commission for an extended period of time. So we should say our prayers for Carol and Larry for a speedy and complete recovery to him. All right. Where's Stu? That is a good question. There's Stu. This picture came in yesterday. He and Ann are down in the Galapagos Islands for 2 weeks, and that is why he is not here. So it's a rare evening for me to be soloing, but Stu and Ann send their best regards, and we miss you guys. All right. So how did this start? Well, it all started for me, though I didn't know it. on Monday, October 2nd, 2023. I had an opportunity to meet a very nice gentleman, Patrick Curtin, who is here this evening. And Patrick, thank you for making the trip up from Salt Lake City. Over the course of an hour or so, we talked about Sugar House history and Park City history. And at the end of the conversation, Patrick mentioned to me that he was good friends with a gentleman named Leland Flinders. Leland is the oldest of the 5 Flinders siblings. And I asked Patrick, would it be possible for him to arrange an introduction? He said he would, but it would be up to Leland whether he would meet with me or not. So I got Leland's phone number and I called him and we had a nice conversation on the phone. And very fortunately for me, on a personal level, he agreed to take my visit. And we met for the first time on Thursday, October 19th, 2023. And we have been meeting regularly since then. Over the course of the ensuing months, Melvin made introductions for me to Melvin, his brother, closest to him in age, who is here, and his sister Elizabeth, also known as Libby, who's here tonight. So thank you both for all your help and generosity to help us prepare for this lecture tonight, and thank you for being here. All right, let's get after it. This is a photo of the family compound and the family ranch. We are looking south from the bluffs of what is now Glenwild, a gated community. And the main acreage of the property was on the other side of Route 40, as you can see here. But the family compound were the buildings that were associated with their multiple businesses that they established on the ranch were located in this area. Certainly the family can answer any questions during the Q&A session, but this compound was west of where the Bittner Road Firehouse is today. There are no buildings remaining, and that entire compound area has been developed into condos and a community, but that lovely creek still exists there. This is another photograph, aerial photograph of the family compound, approximately early 1950s. And I will not go into details on all the buildings there because it would take too long, and quite frankly, I might mess it up. But the big red barn, we're going to talk about prominently during the course of our conversation tonight. So I just want you to take a look at that. And that's from the early 1950s. And again, all these photographs are from the Flinders family archives. Okay, big dreams. George Truman Flinders was born in 1904 and passed away in 1998. He was known to family and friends as Judd. His wife, Beth Eng, was born in 1910, and she passed away in 1999. They were married 68 years, and they passed away 68 days within one another. So that's kind of a cosmic connection, if you ask me. They were married in 1930 in Ogden. And 1930, we all know, was the Great Depression. But they had no intention of letting that economic calamity impact their lives. They had big dreams, and they wanted to control their own destiny. And part of that destiny was starting their own businesses. And we will learn tonight how successful they were. Humble beginnings. It's a depression. Judd drove a delivery truck for the local Coca-Cola bottling company. The hours were long, the pay was meager, and the work was physically demanding. He was happy to have a job, very much so. And his route was from Salt Lake City to Logan, and restaurants and such businesses in between that sold Coke products. He had a keen attention to detail, and he saw what worked for businesses and what didn't work, and he learned from both of them. Judd and Beth opened their first restaurant in 1933. We don't have a picture of it. It was called The Boat, and it was shaped like a boat. and it was located at 21st South and West Temple. In 1935, they opened their second restaurant, Judd's Drive-In, and that was located at 3320 Highland Drive. In 1936, they opened their third restaurant. It was called Park and Dine and was located at 17 South and State Street. Their formula for success, and all the restaurants were successful, was to serve high-quality food at affordable pricing and have intense customer focus, a winning formula today for any restaurateur or business. So they were very successful. But they weren't content with that. They had big dreams. Judd had what I would call that magical combination of the right stuff. There was nothing he couldn't do. There was nothing that he didn't try that he excelled at. And once the restaurants were up and running, he went to work as a salesman at the Hudson dealership for the LH Strong Automotive Group. And that Strong Automotive Group continues to go strong today, though they don't sell Hudsons anymore. Anyway, he was one of their top salespeople every year. And that dealership, this is not the dealership, by the way. This is a dealership, picture of one circa late 1930s, early 40s, but this is not that particular dealership. I just want to clarify that. But the Strong Automotive Group Hudson dealership was located at 21st South and 9th East. All right, more adventures for the Flinders family. In the early 1940s, they purchased a farm in Mill Creek. This is not the farm they purchased, but this is a picture of a farm from Mill Creek in the circa 1930s. It was a small farm, about 1 1/3 acres, and it was quite run down. But the family, all working together, and Judd's running all these other businesses, they turned that farm around. And the lessons they learned there would set the stage for their next biggest adventure. Sorry. Okay, a family affair. I couldn't pass up on this photograph. It is not the Flinders family. I just want to make that very clear. So anybody Flinders in here saying, who is that and where is that picture from? It's not your family. However, Leland, Melvin, and Elizabeth, in all our conversations with them, conveyed that the success of the ranch and their success as a family was a family affair. And that to run a successful dairy operation or beef cattle required everybody in the family to work hard and long hours. So anyway, this picture shows an enterprising family milking their cows, probably in the 1930s. And in 1949, Judd and Beth bought a 900-acre dairy farm in the Snyderville, Kimball Junction area. They bought it from Annie and Archie Carter. And they intended to make it a success like everything else they had been involved in. The family wasted no time in getting after it. And we have a picture of the oldest of the Flinders family, Leland Flinders, out cutting hay for their livestock sometime in the early 1950s. We are looking east in this photograph, and the hills that you see in the back are actually the backside of what's Round Valley today. Judd was a man of many talents, and one of those talents was that he was brilliant from a financial standpoint. And after a couple years of running the dairy farm, and I have never worked on a farm, I am from the dense packed suburbs of the New York metro area, so I wouldn't even know what to do. So anyway, dairy farming is 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Every morning, 4 a.m., you're milking. It takes about 2.5 hours between the milking and the cleanup. And then you got to do it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 7 days a week. There's no rest. And one of the things I learned from Leland and Melvin and Elizabeth, can you imagine the pressure? So they buy this ranch, and Judd tells his 2 oldest sons, "You're running it." I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? And they said, well, we had this little farm down in Mill Creek, but we were confident we could do it. And well, the ranching community, they all took care of one another. And if we needed help, we would ask one of our ranching neighbors and they would help us. But the burden of running this business fell on a 17-year-old and a 15-year-old. And Leland, when he turned 18, was drafted. So the burden of running that dairy farm fell on Melvin. And, you know, for me, I just and will never cease to be amazed at the ability of the whole family to step up and run everything and be successful. Anyway, that aside, by the numbers, Judd ran the numbers and he said, hey, we can make more money raising beef cattle than we can dairy cattle. And though it's still going to be a lot of work, it's going to be a lot less work than dealing with those cows. So they made a fairly quick but a transition from being a dairy farm to being a beef cattle farm. It was all about the numbers. Okay, we're a little out of order here, sorry. This led to one of the first experimentations. What else can we do on the property, especially now that we don't have the milking operations in the bottom of the barn? Let's try square dancing. I have never square danced. I'm a terrible dancer. My wife and daughter will tell you I'm awful. And so square dancing, I have no idea what it's about. But I can tell you this. Melvin Flinders can recite calls from when he used to call for the square dancing as if it was yesterday. It's quite amazing. So anyway, they start square dancing. And again, we'll learn as the evening goes on, Judd was his consummate marketing and PR guy. So we have signage on the big red barn, square dancing. And square dancing occurred primarily in the summer months when there was no hay in the hayloft. And they had to convert the hayloft to support dancing. And they did that with their own bare hands. Judd and his family members, they made the modifications necessary. And we have just here a call list from August of 1950 and a picture of an album from the Leland Flinders collection. I think he has about 70 square dancing albums from this period of time. It was successful. Who's surprised? What else can we do? Though this is a more modern photo, on the ranch they offered year-round wagon rides, sleigh rides. If you wanted to ride any time of year and you want to pay for it, you can do this. So again, just another part of economic diversification and leveraging their ranching assets. Okie dokie, the Mountain Meadows Ranch Restaurant. I have talked to multiple people who have dined there, and they all get this glassy look in their eye and talk about it being one of the finest dining experiences they ever had in their life. Western style cooking, the homemade soups were to die for, and the ranch bread, Elizabeth, I was just wonderful. Everybody has told me that. So this was a terrific restaurant, and it became regionally famous. Okay, in this photograph, we have David O. McKay, who was president of the LDS Church. That's equivalent to the Pope of the Catholic Church. And he had a tradition of having his Mother's Day celebration at the Mountain Meadows Ranch restaurant. And they always reserved the San Francisco room, which was a private dining room and the most opulent one at the restaurant. So again, in the area, this was regionally renowned. Pardon me? The location of it was on the family compound, which was on the other side of before there was Route 80, and Route 40/32. Okay, now we're on a roll. Let's try something else. And they opened 2 small motels. Each of them had 4 rooms, and they rented them out. And it provided an opportunity for people from the valley to come up in the summertime and enjoy the cool mountain air and enjoy this wonderful ranch. This is one of my favorites. The innovation was amazing. On the property, they developed a catchery, and they stocked rainbow trout. And their kind of a slogan was, "You catch them, we clean and cook them, and you eat them." And they specialized in rainbow trout. A 10-inch rainbow trout would set you back 65 cents. An 11-inch trout would set you back 75. And a 12-inch, you're really going to pay up for this. It was $1.10. And an additional charge of 15 cents to clean and cook them. What a great deal. And so the picture, the color picture, we're looking at the kind of what was called the catchery. We're looking west. And there's just a couple things I want to point out to you. You'll see this big kind of sign or billboard that's coming up on the property. It was 40 feet tall. It said "eat" on both sides and was visible from either way on Route 40 as kind of a sign beckoning people to come to the Mountain Meadows Ranch restaurant. The action photo on the right is Elizabeth, who is here tonight, and her younger brother, Tom. And Tom was referred to affectionately as the bait boy. And being the youngest, he kind of got probably the most undesirable tasks, I'm guessing. But it was also his responsibility to bait the hook and then to clean the fish. So here we have this action photo of the two of them getting after it. Oh, one other little story I want to say. Sometimes when anglers were out on the rivers or something like that and they didn't have a good day, they would stop by the catchery, and you didn't need a license to get the fish there, and they would get a couple fish and take them home. Now, we don't know if they fessed up when they got home, if they said, we caught it at the catchery, or we got it on the stream. But it was not uncommon for anglers who hadn't had a good day to stop by there. All right. In the early 1960s, the family started to develop or explore winter revenue. How can we generate activities that will make money for us in the wintertime? And one of the first activities was dog sled racing. And in conjunction with the American Dog Sled Racing Association, by 1962, 1963, they were hosting dog sled races on the Flinders Ranch. In fact, they hosted the Western States Championship Alaskan Husky Dog Sled Races and snowshoe racing. And we'll get to that in a second. And these were big events. The purses were up to $1,500. The number of attendees as spectators would be up to 1,500, and they would pay $1 per person to go there. And also it's bringing business into the restaurant. I'm sure the restaurant was super packed. And these events would typically last over 3 days. And as much as possible, Judd tried to coordinate it when Park City had their winter carnival days. And from 64 to 72, as many of you know, the ski train had started again. So there was kind of this cross-promotion, cross-marketing and branding where the activities on the Flinders Ranch also were co-promoted with the Park City Winter Carnival. The youngest of the Flinders family, Tom Flinders, was a very accomplished racer. And we have several action photos here of Tom and his animal athletes. And the one you can see him kneeling, getting ready for a race. And then the other photo, look at that snow in there. Don't we wish we had that nowadays? And that's out of Kimball Junction. Damn. But anyway, we have Tom Flinders on his way to another championship run. And then the bottom photograph is just a panoramic view looking south to where Park City would be. Snowshoe racing. Elizabeth's husband, Ronald Hanny, won the championship, the national championship, 3 years in a row. So that's why we have three-peat here. And I will also mention this, he was a very accomplished athlete, not only as a snowshoe champion, but as a basketball player. Having spoken to a couple people who played basketball with him, he was one of the best in the league. So an all-round athlete. All right, this is just kind of an example of how popular these races were. I won't go into detail, and they came in droves. As I mentioned, up to 1,500 people would attend these dog sled racing. And the ranch now was getting international recognition because the participants in these dog sled races came from Canada, they came from Alaska, and they came from 14 other Western states. So the kind of fame of the Flinders Family Ranch is now expanding from a regional organization to a national organization and also to an international destination. Next, snowmobile racing. Not surprisingly, Judd Flinders had the first Polaris dealership in the state of Utah. And as in the dog sled racings, these were well promoted, well attended. And I might also add that a lot of the Salt Lake City media elite would attend these races, not only the dog sled racing, but the snowmobile racing. The Utah State, not the college, but the state of Utah, the snowmobile championships were held regularly on the Flinders Family Ranch. And again, up to 1,500 people or more would come and spectate. Judd, the consummate numbers, marketing, promotional, try new things guy. The barn has now been modified to be an authorized Polaris sales and service dealership. And you notice the big banner covering where it said square dancing, advertising that they're an authorized Polaris dealership. And at the Mountain Meadows Ranch restaurant, not missing an opportunity to upsell, you could go have a wonderful meal and you could take a snowmobile for a test drive, either before or after you dine, and hopefully you would buy one. So all these snowmobiles are lined up there for people to buy. So, and it was a very successful dealership, of course. There was also one other more regionally oriented activity, and we call it Chariots of Fire. There was a group of enthusiasts in the immediate area that would make homemade or do-it-yourself chariots and race them on a straight track. And we have a couple action photos from probably 63, 64 here. I did talk to a couple people recently who grew up here, who were kind of they lived in Camas and they're in the horse world, but they mentioned they remembered these chariot races. So again, this didn't have national attention, but certainly added to the regional fame. What else can we do? Now we're really going to go international here. By the 1960s, in the summertime, the ranch was hosting the United States Boy Scout Jamboree and also the International Boy Scouts Jamboree. Upwards of 3,000 scouts would come from all over the world to do whatever you do at a Boy Scout Jamboree. And I'm not a Boy Scout, I never was, so I don't know. But whatever they did it. And sorry. It was quite common for the governor, the senator, and congressman to come up and give words of encouragement to the youth about their being there and how great the state was and so on and so forth. And there are multiple letters in the Flinders Family archives written from people who attended the Jamboree, thanking them for hosting it and mentioning how beautiful the ranch was, how beautiful Park City was, and how impressed they were with the state of Utah. A couple little, sharing things here from the family memories. One of the memories is that in the mornings, you couldn't see any of the tents or the cars because it was covered in smoke, and a very heavy smoke. And that's because the Boy Scouts were busy cooking bacon, eggs, and pancakes. And the smell of bacon was omnipresent throughout the area when the Boy Scouts were preparing their breakfast. The other thing the family shared with us, and kind of a sad thing that the youth of today is not as keen about it, but when they left, there wasn't a gum wrapper or a candy wrapper to be found on the property. It was spotless, as if nothing happened. And that was two of the memories that were shared with us. All right. How about dropping in for dinner? The Mountain Meadows Ranch restaurant had become so popular that people were jumping out of planes to get there. I'm just kidding. But we do have people jumping out of planes onto the ranch. And that's because in July 1968, the National Guard decided to hold their war games on the Flinders Family Ranch, which included parachute jumping / training. Again, I've never, and have no intention of ever parachuting, but we have 160 Green Berets from the 19th Special Forces Division jumping onto Flinders Ranch. So this is a couple photographs from that jump, and there were over 400 spectators that attended this event, which occurred on Sunday, July 14th, 1968. All right, what else can we do? Well, we can do more. Come on. How about balloon festivals? So starting in the early 1980s, the ranch became the epicenter for balloon festivals. And here we have a couple photographs of balloons from a festival landing on the ranch in 1983. And again, we were bringing people in, and so they're going to be dining at the restaurant, maybe staying at the motel, catching fish, and making money for the family. Whatever I'm about to say here is not going to do justice to kind of this marketing and promotional machine that Judd was part of and the family was part of. And this is just kind of a collage of ads and signage associated with the property. We see the giant EAT sign that I talked about before, visible from far away. Was the sign illuminated? Elizabeth? Yeah, a big, I thought it was a big red neon sign. Oh, it turned. Okay, great. Even more amazing. So we have this turning sign, eat, come here and eat, and big neon flashing lights. And we talked about the snowmobile racing. Certainly Polaris was right there promoting. Look at this big sign promoting a Mountain Meadow. You know, they're their own brand name now. We talked about the huge crowds. Judd also started a realty. He was specialized in brokering ranches and farming properties in the state of Utah and beyond. And one of my favorite things, you'll see in the lower left, the Flinders family had this beautiful restored wagon. And during the summer months, they would go to various parades that were held throughout the state. And in this picture, though you can't see it, we have Leland, the oldest, and his younger brother Tom at the reins. And they are at the Park City July 4th parade, 1963. And they are in front of what is the Egyptian Theater, but back then it was called the Silver Wheel Theater. So again, just as marketing and promotional dynamo. So, and again, I'm not even doing justice to how impressive it was. Oh, one other thing. They were also one of the first retail establishments to take credit cards. And we have an ad in here for the Bank of America credit card is welcome at the Flinders Ranch. All right, it wasn't just the parents, it was the families we talked about. And that's been a theme. You know, it was a collaborative family. They all worked together. And the other part of the dream team were the 5 Flinders children. From left to right, we have Leland Flinders, who was the first gentleman I met. Next to him is his next oldest brother, Melvin, who is sitting up front. We have Elizabeth, who is right here in the middle, and then the two other brothers, Tom and Jaron, are no longer with us, but it was the dream team. So the success of the ranch was dependent upon all of the family working together. And I will say this, as a testament to the parents and a testament to the family, every one of these family members went on to have brilliant lives, personally and professionally. So who's surprised? But it was a dream team, not only as it related to the ranch, but in life as well. And the legacy, we have some of that legacy here tonight. You know, this picture is approximately from the mid-1990s, and you can see Judd and Beth in the center, and they are surrounded by family members, not only their own, but their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren. So the Flinders legacy is part of it is here with us tonight and continues to this day. We did it. You certainly did. Going back to 1930 when they got married during the Great Depression, and they had this unshakable belief they were going to control their own destiny, and no matter what happened, they were going to be successful. And they certainly were. And thank you for attending. So a couple things as it relates to the questions. This lecture is being recorded. It will be streamed. I can't imagine anybody would want to look at me, and I don't know how I sound. So, but as it relates to questions, we're going to hand you the mic. We have family members here. So please don't hesitate to ask any questions that you may have. And we just went over a very small part of the material that this wonderful legacy in the Flinders family, the photographs, the memorabilia, and the memories. So if you have any questions, please ask away. Diane will hand you the mic that will be recorded and will be part of our YouTube streaming. Any questions? Yes, no? Turn that baby on.
Hello.
Yeah.
Somebody could tell us about, I remember Mel or Elizabeth telling us about Old Ranch Road, because there was an old ranch down Old Ranch Road, and maybe somebody could tell us about that.
Elizabeth? Okay. Oh, wait, Elizabeth, we're going to get the mic for you so you can boom it out. I'm sorry.
When we bought the ranch at Mountain Meadow, it used to be two pieces. So the part that was over on Old Ranch Road, which is now, was a separate piece, but they connected. But it was pretty run down. The house had burned down that was over there, and there was some old barns. But we had some horses that we used to feed over there. And so sometimes in the wintertime, they would take a wagon over on that dirt road and feed the horses in that barn. So we called it, go over on the Old Ranch Road and feed the horses. And that went on for quite a few years. And then one day we thought we need to name that. So we went to the county, and they said we had to get a petition of so many names. So we got all the property owners on her and named it Old Ranch Road. And I know that there's other places there that people have said that it was named after that, but it was not. It was named after that old barn.
Great.
And that old house.
So you hear it from the source right here. This, Elizabeth named it. Mike, you have a question? Hold on.
Thanks. David, very good job. Thank you. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. It was the family that made it good.
But you had to take the initiative. The only thing that's missing is the ending.
Well,
You left us hanging. I mean, the last date I saw, I think, was 89. That ranch, what is it now? I think I know, but maybe some people don't.
well, I would say this. I ended it where I did for a reason, because that was kind of the glory years of the ranch, and you know, where either Melvin or Elizabeth or other family members can talk about it. Judd had bigger plans for the property, and he wanted to develop a Sun Valley-like skating facility on it, and he saw the evolution that was happening with the ski resorts, and he wanted to expand the winter activities. And Summit County denied his request for a facility. They had all the blueprints and everything else drawn up for it. And he just decided it was time to move on. And it's kind of a complicated thing because part of the ranch was sold and it was bought back. But in the early 90s, most of it was sold. And he and his youngest son, Tom, bought a 100,000-acre ranch outside of Elko, Nevada. And then he went up there and worked that ranch for a period of time. But, we all get old. And it was time for him to come back and kind of live out his final years by his family and friends in this area. Anything else you want to add to that, Elizabeth? Melvin? No.
100,000 acres is about the size of Rhode Island, isn't it?
Look, I can't wrap my head around 900 acres. Forget about wrapping around 100,000. It's like a state. But, look, for me, it's been a cherished journey to work with the family and learn about the ranch. And I'm sure, many folks wish they had it today, but it's time, dream teams don't last forever, right? And all the kids had their own careers and they were raising families and so on and so forth. So it just came time to sell, and they sold it in the early 90s. We have a question way in the back there, Diane.
Raise your hand if you're a Flinder.
Oh, wait, here's a question.
I just want to tell you thank you on behalf of the Flinders family for all your hard work. We sure appreciate this. And, we have so many memories from Park City and we're just so grateful. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Like I said, it's been an honor and privilege to work with you guys. And quite frankly, it was intimidating to be here tonight, and especially with all the family. I was like, don't say anything wrong, but nobody threw something, and so that's a good thing. But no, it's been an honor and privilege to work with you. And we're very thankful that so many of the Flinders family and friends showed up tonight. It's very rewarding for us, so thank you. Oh, wait. Hold on, Melvin. Let me scoot through here.
Thank you, Dave. A wonderful presentation.
Oh, thank you, Melvin.
Age is kind of working against me, so I have a little bit of a hard time expressing myself. But you can see what a lot of work went into this, and working with Dave has been an absolutely magnificent opportunity. And he's a great man as well as an orator. And we want to thank you, Dave, very much.
Yeah, Melvin, my oldest daughter, Renee, they're like, if we hear one more word about the Flinders Family Ranch, I shut the doors in the kitchen and I'm practicing. And they're like, shut up, we've heard enough. Haven't you finished memorizing it?
And
So,
on the other hand, we try never to stop talking about it. We were able to come together and stay together, as you mentioned, as a family. And I think that's probably one of the greatest opportunities that we've had is to be close as a family and remain that way. So if you ever wonder if your family can make it, go buy a little ranch someplace. And
wait, if I want to get divorced, I'm buying a ranch. Anyway, it happened before we closed on the property.
Uh,
Pardon me? It was Western home style cooking. Again, the folks I've talked to who have eaten there, and remember, Park City was very poor at the time. So for people from the town of Park City to go out to dine there was a very special undertaking. Most of the business, correct me if I'm wrong, Melvin and Elizabeth, were people coming up from Salt Lake City, going square dancing, the other activities that were on there. And during the holiday season, it was booked up almost every night with corporate events for the holiday season, sleigh rides, dinner. They had a very vibrant entertainment scene at the restaurant. They had a big bandstand in there. They hosted local acts. Melvin played drums. Leland played piano. They had other local friends of theirs who sang and played horns. And also the Osmond brothers would sometimes show up and entertain the guests, and they had dancing. So it was kind of a place to go. But primarily, most of the business associated with the ranch came from Salt Lake City and the surrounding areas, not just Park City.
Just one other quick one. Pardon me. I'll have to skip on that one, I guess. I can't get it out.
Yeah, no problem, Melvin. That's why I am most days. No, thank goodness it didn't happen tonight.
We want to thank everyone from coming tonight and hope you enjoyed it, even as much as we did. I hope our family can continue on as a stay together type of a family and have and show appreciation for one another. This has been a great community to grow up in. For many of you that haven't spent a lot of time up here, the Snyderville Basin once was the home to 15 dairies that were families that had come up. This was a great area to have a dairy because it's high in the top, 6,000, 6,500 feet to have a dairy herd. And the product that came out of Snyderville and the basin up here was notable because of the cold waters. And you might have noticed, probably everybody knows that a spring has colder water than a stream does. And so by every spring, you could tell there was a spring there because the house would be close. When they milked the cows, they put the milk in large cans, and then they'd put them in what they called the vat, and it was just short of freezing water, and it made this a very good area to have dairies. And it was about 1967 when the skiing people started to talk about what was going to happen in Park City, and so the dairying started to leave, and by 75 we were pretty much out of the dairy business up in this country. But this has been a great place for farming. One of the drawbacks up here, this is not alfalfa country, and dairy cows they like and they need alfalfa hay. So we had to lead on quantity. We were running a little bit of short on the production of our cows, but on quality, it was as good as it came. And I want to thank everyone here in this community, and we won't have this chance again, I'm sure. But we love the people of Park City, and we know the people of Park City have loved our valley here in this sector. So, not to take all night here, but Dave, we just can't say enough for all you've done for us and for the community, and you'll continue on doing it.
Oh, it's
Thank
been
you
my
very
honor,
much.
Melvin. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to answer what he said about the menu.
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, we had a New York steak, we had a ranch steak, we had ham, chicken, and fish and halibut. We didn't have a lot of shrimp, but I'll tell you, we use on the chicken dinner, we took a big bowl of soup and put on the table while they're waiting. And we put bowls on and they dished up their own soup out of this bowl. Then we brought them a salad. We brought them a big plate. On the plate, it had 3 pieces of chicken. It had some kind of a potato, a vegetable, a garnish, and dessert and a drink for $2.65.
Wait, sign me up. Thank you, Elizabeth.
But anyway, that was answer to what that's. And thank you so much. This has been a wonderful thing that you've done for our family.
You know, it's been great. We have another question back to Diane. Can I pinpoint where it was? Hold on. I can't, but we'll ask the Flinders family. It was west of Bittner Road. I certainly know where the creek is and where the bend is because I picked up trash there. Out of the water. Why people do that, I don't know. Okay, so Elizabeth, why don't you answer this gentleman's question?
Yeah, go ahead. The Canyon Creek Apartments are right there where our ranch is. And see where the entrance of the ranch is just about where the entrance to the Canyon Creek Apartments is. And then what's the subdivision? Is it Blackhawk is in this field next to it to the right? Yeah.
I'll let you give it to him. Here.
What? Yes.
So Interstate 80 is now right here. It's not shown right now, but if you know where the underpass would be, Grandpa Flinders turned this little lane about right here into a way to get the hay rides under the freeway to get out here into the meadows. So the Burns Fire Station is about right there. And sorry, it's shaky. The overpass to go from the Bittner Road over to Highland Estates is about right there. And then, so you can't, the Bittner Ranch is over this way, and then the Swanner, what was it called? The Spring Creek Angus Ranch was about right here. And the old stone home, the old stone house, and then the Pony Express rock house is about right there.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Did any of your land become part of the Swanner?
All of it.
Everything that's out across to the south of the freeway, yes.
So the majority of the Swanner land was the Flinders?
Here, I'll show you. So our neighbors, the Swanners, is this property line right here. And then it's that one right there. Okay. So all of the Swanners property was over here behind the New Park area. And then I would say the Osgothorpe's field is about right across here. So all of this is the nature preserve right now.
More questions? Anybody have a question? You got the real deal here, so you'll get the instant fact checking. That's it? Okay. Hey, everybody. I had a great time. Thank you.
Just a minute.
So I just have one thing to say. I'm Libby's daughter,
Yes, yes.
and I was too young to remember this as
what we have seen. And so I got very emotional watching this. And we just really want to thank you for all of your work. Several years ago, some of the grandkids in our family put together this cookbook. And on the front it said, "What's cooking with the Flinders?" And our motto was "A place to love and remember." So we just want to give this to you.
Oh, thank you very
Just
much.
thank you very much for all of your help.
Thank you. Renee, you're going to have to take cooking lessons from Elizabeth. Thank you so much. Thank you.